My name is Teresa Russell. I'm current president of the Dublin Worthington Club Rotary, and this is our 29th meeting of our 49th year. So in lieu of Roger Johnson, Al Wu has the pledge and the invocation for us.
So on this beautiful day, if you bow your heads and ask, Father, we ask that you bless this food for our use in serving you and making us ever mindful of the needs of others. We seek your protection for our Rotary family and all Rotarians as we strive to achieve our goals in providing service above self. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Jim Farmer, President-elect. Would you please introduce our visitors and guests today?
Our only true visitor today is our speaker, who will be introduced in a moment, but I'd like to point out that Rich Goldberg made it today. Rich, stand up and introduce yourself. And unbeknownst to us, it was dress down day, so thank you for coming.
Thank you. And anybody have any announcements? Make your way.
As some of you may recall, our big win in the bowling tournament was I Am Boundless, a charity in town, and we got a very nice letter from them. On behalf of the I Am Boundless team, I wanted to thank you for your generous donation of $1,000 in support of our Impact I Am Boundless Inc. Well, it wasn't a donation, they won it. Your support plays an important role in fulfilling the Boundless mission. Thank you for helping us continue to grow our services, extend the reach of our mission, and assist individuals in leading boundless lives. So, good for us. Thank you.
Hello, I have two announcements. One is a two-part. It's kind of like three announcements. But first, I need Lisa Federico and Lauren Robinson to come up here, please. Yeah. So I'm pleased to announce that last Thursday, our board met and approved the membership of Lauren Robinson. So I'm happy to present her with her red badge. Let's give her a round of applause. Sure.
I am very excited to join this Rotary Club. I have been a previous Rotarian with the Eaton Rotary for 7 years, so I'm super excited to get back into Rotarian duties.
Fantastic. And then Lisa Federico, we know she's been here. We approved her a long time ago, and I may have called, it took forever to make her back. So now I officially got the red badge.
Yay, I'm no longer nameless.
Yeah. All right, my second announcement is that last night our Impact Club met at my office and had a service project. They put together basically care packages for the Ronald McDonald House, and they had, I don't know, there's probably 15 people in the room. So that's part one of the announcement. The second part that ties into it is that the district is running a, what do you call it, an event. And each one bring one membership event. You may have seen it in the newsletter or from Dable's district newsletter. But essentially what it is a competition among the district where for every guest we bring from February, March, and April, the club that brings the most guests per capita in that time span can win a $500 social with the district governor. And so tying back to the first part of the announcement, the Impact Club had 6 guests at their event last night. So that puts the pressure on our club to bring some guests. And that's what I got. So if you are gonna bring a guest, make sure that they sign into the sign-in sheet so I can keep track of them for the next few months, and let's win this.
The food drive in March will be on March 9th. We have Fresh Time on Sawmill and Kroger Fresh Fare for the Dublin Rotary. We'll support them. And then Fresh Time on High Street and Hills Market in Worthington to support the Worthington Resource Pantry. There's sheets at every table. So if we need some volunteers about 4 for each of the areas. Each of the facilities will be doing a food drive for. So thank you for signing up. We appreciate that. Again, March 9th from 9 to noon. Thank you.
Thank you. Ellen, did you have an announcement?
It was the same one.
Okay, perfect.
So.
Anybody else with an announcement? We will move on with our sergeant, Phil Geisler, stepping in for Connie.
Yay. Okay.
We'll have to find the file.
One over there. Oh, about the new ways. I was curious.
What do you want? Want to carry that?
I'm going to ask that to be done right now. Recognizing, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's.
Everybody online? John, you wait? Okay, good, thank you. It's good to be here and good to represent, Connie and what we're trying to get done here. Connie did ask to say hello and best wishes to everybody here. So that being done, I'd like, Dick to come up and carry the pot for a very specific reason. Yes, sure. Matter of fact, I'll bring the pot back too.
Yeah, it's good back.
Yeah, just put the money in there right now, to get started so people know what to do. In any case, the effort today is to do a couple things. Obviously, we won't begin without using happy dollars. So I'll defer to you, at this point with a raise of the hand and for a happy dollar, should there be any here. Yes, Don?
I have a couple here first, because we just got back from a wonderful, almost 3-week vacation, down south, went all the way to Key West, stopped at some historic sites and battlefields and state capitals and the like, which is wonderful. And secondly, to thank everyone that participated in the, Buddy Box event last week. Unfortunately couldn't, we were on our way back and forth then, but I appreciate the ones that did and the ones who signed up, for the most, who couldn't make it, for the most part, gave advance notice, which we like to see, so that we know what we're dealing with. So we appreciate that, and hope we have a very successful food pantry event also on the night. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Don. Anybody else? Happy dollars. Yes, sir. Yes.
If I can get up.
That's all right.
Well, a happy dollar for being very thankful. That's what I'm thankful for. Squamous cell cancer, and they got it in one pass.
Whoa.
We did not have to spend the whole, I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of surgery, but you go in, they prune a little, they run off to the lab for at least an hour, and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, and they tell you, eat a big breakfast, bring a bag lunch, you have to be here all day. They got it in one shot.
That's great. That's good news. And you know, when they go off, there's a rumor, and I'm not a medical person, but it's just a rumor back in the farm that when they did that, for cows anyhow, they would play euchre while they worked on that, analysis. So know that you were helping them to be a better team that day. Yes, sir. Past President?
I'm leaving for a cruise on Saturday.
Woo, nice.
Won't be back for a week.
Hey, where
are you going?
Disney.
Oh. Wonderful, that's good. Yes, Rich?
About 2 weeks ago, my wife and I, saw my younger brother Steven, who is a cancer survivor. He got a clean bill of health from the Moffitt Center about 3 weeks ago, so we had a lot to celebrate.
That's wonderful. That's good news. Great news, great news. Anybody else? Hello? Okay, let's talk about here for a second. Something that is very unique. Every year and every week and every month is more unique. But today we have 2 members of the original Dublin Worthington Rotary Club in our midst. And I think it would be very interesting, since some of you would have no idea where they are, that both of them are standing right now.
There are two people standing, and there are two of us that are young kids, so that wouldn't be. But the two that are standing, would like to raise their hands, please. Stand it. When was that, guys? What year?
74.
What month?
53.
Well,
Next September.
next September, that's good, great idea, next September. Someday we'll have a picture of them again in front of you, and you do see that online, should you want to, go to, my Rotary Club, and you can find that online. Some other real great stuff, by the way. So thank you, guys, appreciate it. And for that reason, I would like to also mention that there's somebody on screen up here. Oh, well, okay. And Jerry just happened to have one with him, so if you want to pass that around, Jerry, that's wonderful. Everybody that touches it, put $1 in. I'm sorry? Okay, right there. And to that, you'll find that the website is a lot different than it was back in, when I guess when I joined, and actually when you joined, because you couldn't even do that. But the person who was responsible for the latest webpage is in the room, ex officio, he's online, he's in the picture booth. And who would that be? Four-way test, Butterfield. Raise your hand. Okay, good. John, you did a good job with that, and I could even read it about 3 or 4 months ago, unless you change it again. That's good.
Well, it needs to be updated, Phil, so we've got work to do.
And it seems like it's appropriate, Madam President, would not it be appropriate to have him get some work done?
It would be.
Yeah, it would be. So thanks, John, for volunteering. Okay, so Dick and Sam, that's great. A couple of things for Rotary purposes. This is a question for everybody here in the room. And I've asked this maybe 4 times over the last how many years. What Rotary memorabilia is on the moon surface? Is on the moon surface. Rotary memorabilia on the moon surface. The past president's not allowed.
Rotary pin.
Oh, you did it anyhow.
Oh,
The 4-way test.
It's a 4-way test, okay. So Rotary pin is on the moon, and do we know which
Astronaut.
well, astronaut, but even more than that, and where from the person was that put it on the moon? So it has to be an astronaut. It wasn't a hot dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, every $100. It was Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin. And what club did he belong to at that time? 1, 2, 3, 4, $2. And that was the Houston Club, and like I said, this is Space City Club of Houston, obviously. So this is the third, at least the third, according to my records, the third time I've asked this over the last 20 years, 30 years. So,
get it right.
yeah, that's good. Okay,
Emily, take my turn.
there's some things here that need to be cleared up. And one of the things, did I see a person who is in charge of?
Okay, find them all. Just find them.
Fine. Ro,
Yes.
come back up here. Get your money, put your money in front of you.
Okay, what did I do?
Well, you were in a picture.
A picture?
I've got several pictures, and I'll get it all. And this was, you have to remember what year this was. And those of you in the room and never understood this is the 4th of July program in front of Thomas Worthington High School, AKA 2000, or AKA,
98.
not, something like that.
98?
No, this is about 2005, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say 2023, bro.
Yeah, she looks so young. I do look young. You do. You still have hair short. You still.
Yeah.
Do I get to keep this?
That's yours. Either that or I get to do it again. whatever. And I see, if I'm not mistaken, I see Tom Rice here from the Worthington Presbyterian Church. Before you come up here, put some money in the pot. This is probably the one and only. These are probably the one and only, or two, one and only, what did I say? That's not right. Pictures from the top of the Worthington Fire Department fire ladder truck, taken from in front of Worthington High School, or Worthington, yeah, that was Worthington High School, towards Worthington Presbyterian Church to see the spire and the,
Beautiful.
even the things are no longer there. And this had to be in about 2008, maybe not that long, yeah, I guess about that time. And this was when, actually, Steve Potter was here, his brother-in-law was here, Dick Hunter, and they got the fire department to go out there and raise the fire ladder for us. They let hydroelectric all the way up, and we stood up there and took pictures of the whole thing. So I thought you could take that back and put money in his pot right there. Okay, let me ask
We got change.
two quick ones. We have in our room,
We could.
I'm gonna put you on a timeline, or it's gonna be real quick there. And in some place in the room, according to another person online, there you go, he's not there. This person who is in the room today joined Rotary in '79. He's a retired lieutenant colonel. Time's wasting on you if you don't pick this up quickly.
Is it court?
He trekked up to the rim at Kilimanjaro in 19,000 feet. And Dave,
Courtney.
oh, that's unfair. So everybody, Courtney's table and row, you get to put another bucket. Dave, you get to put a bucket. The other thing, one last thing here,
Was it right?
and we're going to go to,
That's right.
two more. One, this person would like to speak and meet with Alexander Hamilton. If the person doesn't remember this himself, it'll cost him max right away. Matter of fact, I can see that person right now saying, well, who could that be? So I find the table on the northeast, no, in the south, wherever you are. Rich Goldberg wanted to meet with Alexander Hamilton, but more importantly, you remember that?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, then put the max in. But then more of interest is what you did when you went to New Zealand. What'd you do?
What did I do in New Zealand? Traveled there with my two boys. And, trying to think of what else.
You drove and walked the island, North and South Island.
That is correct.
Okay, that was what year?
That would have been 2014.
Okay, good. And that's about it. Has everybody put money in? If not, put $1. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, Rich, we're gonna make this really quick.
Yes,
Come on.
all right.
That'll charge you $1, whatever she's gonna do.
We need to leave room for the speakers. So
Yes,
we're gonna go quickly here.
So hello, everyone. I know I haven't been here very much, but I'm gonna try to make it more often here. As the chairperson for Rotary International Foundation for the club, one of the programs that the district does is the 125 Club. Many of you are involved in that. Basically, it means $100 during the Rotary year to the annual fund and another $25 to Polio Plus. And because of your generosity, our club has donated, I think, about $2,100 to Polio Plus this Rotary year and $8,700 so far to the annual fund. So even though we still have about 3.5 months to go, we're pretty much at our goal for the year. So really appreciate it. Give yourselves a hand. We have pins today for 125 Club, and so I'm gonna read them really quick. The list is much longer than the number of people that are here today, but I'm gonna start right now. What?
Make your way.
Okay, but please make your way. Rose Murrow, I know Connie Hendren is not here today, Steve Payerly,
Road.
Adrian Knowles, Alan Grossman, Alan Wu, Beth Liston, Bonnie Beth Mitchell, Darnell Perkins, Dave Kittredge, Dave Hanson, I know Dave's on the screen, Diane Simone, Doug Southgate, Emily Biondo, Courtney Chapman, Greg Giesler, Gretchen, like this, Narciso, Harry Bouquet Martin, Don Motley, Jim Farmer, Jim Allen, Jim Miller, Jeff Apple, Jennifer Best, Jerry Katz, John Butterfield, I know John's on the screen, Joe Patchett, Judy Barnhart, Katie McCartney, Ken Carey, Lou Gorey, Mike Moulton, Nick Hepner, Nick Legenhofer, Paul Sincar, Peggy Murgatroyd, Pete Barnhart, Bill Giesler, Rachel Dorothy, myself there, Bob Hanson, Sue Cody, Ted Imbush, Teresa, Tom Rice, Tim Modes, Tina Fisher, Bill Bestie, and Bill Whiteman. So thank you all for supporting the 125 Club, and I hope to give you updates regarding the foundation and future meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
You know how many we had last year? 'Cause that seems like a whole lot more this year.
I don't know. I will let you know at the next meeting. How's that?
It's about double.
It is about, it looks like it's a list of close to 40, so.
Way to go.
Yeah,
Congratulations, thank you all. And now we're ready for our speaker. Jim, are you introducing this? Jim Farmer.
No, it's not me.
There we go.
Behind you.
I recognize our speaker.
How do you?
Behind you.
There he is. You're gonna have to introduce yourself because nobody told me I was introducing you. I apologize for that.
That'll be part of the.
It's great to have you.
Hi, everyone. So, I have a PowerPoint. I'll go quick because I think we're running out of time. But it's nice to be with you. The year the club was founded, 1974, was the year my family moved to Westerville. I was 10 years old. Means I'll be 60 later this year. And so I'm pretty much a lifelong resident of Westerville. I joined, the Rotary Club of Westerville in 95. And, back when we had one club, and, have enjoyed being a Rotarian ever since. So it's really nice to be with you. This is a beautiful room. I don't know that I've ever been in this room, so it's fun. So anyway, my name is Rick Bannister. I'm a former school board member in Westerville. I just told you that I've lived in Westerville for 50 years. Met my wife Diane at Westerville South High School. This went out. Test. Oh, there we are. And anyway, Diane's my,
I'm working on it.
That's fine. Met Diane in high school, and we both graduated from Ohio State, and, just decided to live in Westerville. Raised 4 daughters. So I was on the Board of Education, went on the board in 1995, and served 2 terms in Westerville. I've also chaired 7 school levy campaigns for Westerville City Schools, which is why I look the way that I do. I like to tell people I feel better than I look, because those are always tough battles. Why am I sharing all that with you? It's so that you understand why I created this charity, Neighborhood Bridges. So when Diane and I were raising our 4 daughters, and when I first went on the school board in Westerville in 95, our free and reduced lunch population, thank you, our free and reduced lunch population was 8%, 70. Today it's over 35% free and reduced lunch in Westerville. And so, I've run 15 campaigns in Westerville, mostly the school levy campaigns and some school board races, but I've also run a fire levy and a levy to build our community center campaign. And so I thought, why don't we just merge those two ideas together? Why don't we, every time we ask community for support, they usually come forward. And I'm seeing this rising growth of need in our schools. So I created Neighborhood Bridges, which is a 501c3 charity, launched on Martin Luther King Day 7 years ago. So we're 7 years old. I will skip over that. This is important for you to see. The slide on the left, when I was contemplating the idea of Neighborhood Bridges, I was the chief operating officer of the Ohio State Bar Association. Love that. That's where I met Joe Patchen, my dear friend and fellow crew fan.
And I should have introduced you, but I didn't.
That's okay. And I love Joe. And his dad, Dan, who was a great mentor of mine in running some school levies and the like. But anyway, I wrote a business plan and I sent it around to all the community leaders in Westerville, mayor, chamber, superintendent, everybody. And one of the groups I sent it to was the Columbus Foundation. And they asked to meet with me. And so that story I told you about growing poverty in Westerville, and why I did this, they gave me this slide. This is testimony from the Brookings Institute to Congress in 2016, right when I was sending out the business plan. This right here, this dark blue line that jumps off the page, that's the growth of poverty in suburban America since year 2000. So the Columbus Foundation said, you got to get busy. You relied on this, trust your instincts, and we have the data to back this up. So I launched on Martin Luther King Day 2017. And here is an update to this. This is the Brookings Institute. They went back and looked at what's happened since the pandemic. And here you are. Here is the people who live in poverty in suburban America. And you'll see that the increase is sharpest in this category, yet still. So this is why we launched Neighborhood Bridges, was to serve at-risk students and their families. This is a tough slide because I'm a Buckeye. I also announced 5 sports for Ohio State. I'm the stadium and arena announcer for 5 teams in Ohio State. Anybody wants to ask me a question about that, I'd be happy to talk about that. But this comes from the school up north. But this is the single most important slide I've ever seen that illustrates why we created and operate Neighborhood Bridges. These statistics are true in Worthington, or Dublin, or Westerville, or Baldwin County, Alabama, where we serve, or Sylvania, Ohio, or Kent. They're true everywhere. Do we have any members of the school district team here? I saw that Trent Bowers is a member, our superintendent.
School board member.
School board member, okay. 93% of kids that don't face economic disadvantage graduate from high school and move on to whatever they, 4-year college or whatever. Slide 1 left. Oh, I should say that the University of Michigan studied the entire class of 2018 in the state of Michigan. This is where they got the data. This holds up here and anywhere. Slide left 1 column, we lose 20% of kids who face poverty to graduation. They don't reach high school graduation. Slide all the way left, we lose half of those kids who also experience homelessness during their life, during their career as a student. Just think about that for a minute. How many of you are aware that there are homeless students attending Worthington City Schools? There are. Yeah, that school board member absolutely knows about that. I didn't know about it. When I launched Neighborhood Bridges here, I thought I was a community leader and a school leader in Westerville, and then the school councilors met with me and said, what are we gonna do about the homeless kids? And I said, what are you talking about? But anyway, this is our jam. We want to serve these kids, or we are serving these kids right here. We want them to come to school every day. I think the magic happens when kids come to their schools and they spend time with their teachers or their coaches or their principals or their counselors, right? So we just want to remove those barriers so that kids can succeed. So here's our mission: to bridge communities with schools in providing basic needs, removing barriers, and seeking equity for students so they can engage and succeed in school and life. If the superintendent were here, he's been a great supporter of neighborhood bridges, by the way. He would tell you that, we are after what school staff would refer to as non-cognitive barriers to learning. So what does that mean? Can she see the board? Does she need some eyeglasses? Does he have school supplies? Do they have a warm pair of shoes or a coat? Did they sleep in a bed last night? Do they need food? All of those kinds of things are things that we're working on. So, I like to share this because this was shared with me by Kim Sellers. Kim is the social and emotional health coordinator for Kings Local School. That's Kings Island. The district sits right behind the amusement park and goes that way. East, I guess, east and north. Anyway, Kim talks about, and we run neighborhood bridges there as well, talks about how students have this invisible backpack. And so we want to serve this, and meet the needs. And the great news is that 7 years in, we know that this is working. This has been a dramatic success, both in Worthington and in Dublin. So this is an important stat. Our school board member knows this. Most people don't know this unless you're a school board member, a superintendent, or some victim who gets asked to repeatedly chair school levy campaigns. And this is true here, and it's true everywhere. 74, 3/4 of the residents of any community don't have kids in school. So they're not engaged day to day with the schools. And so all those steep lines that I showed you earlier, it's no longer sustainable for parents to do this, for PTAs and boosters and PTOs to do this. We really, as a community, need to respond and work to reverse the cycle of poverty and make sure these kids have what they need so that they can engage and succeed in school and life, as our mission states. So how do we do this? We build technology that each of our 50 communities that we serve uses. The school district identifies who will post needs in each building. So a school counselor, a social worker, a nurse, each school district determines that, and there's nothing top down about that. They are able to post needs on neighborhood bridges, Worthington, or neighborhood bridges, Dublin, if that's the case. And they never reveal who we're serving. We never know who we're serving. This is to protect the privacy laws of school districts, but most importantly, to provide love and dignity in the process. And most importantly, we will bridge needs to existing organizations. You might have noticed that our logo is all lowercase. Our oldest daughter, Haley, designed that for me before we started. And I never shared this until a couple of years ago, and I was told to talk about it. But it's in all lowercase because of this point. I understand the resources that are in my own community of Westerville. We don't want to replicate those. We want to bridge together. So the resource pantry and other organizations here in Worthington, we want to work together to make sure that we can fulfill our own mission. And so this is a very important point. We've grown very quickly. Last year, we supported $2.5 million in giving in our 7th year, and we impacted over 100,000 kids across our neighborhood bridges communities. And so this is outdated. We've actually assembled a volunteer force and a donor base of over 200,000 donors who are helping community leaders, volunteer area directors. We are a volunteer run in all of our communities where we serve, and social media followers. So we want to find that 74% of every community, either out on Facebook or Instagram or through email subscription, and let them engage and help students in need. And so because of this, because of the design of neighborhood bridges, and it's important for me to share this with you and be transparent, we serve a larger population than most charities do because there's no red tape at neighborhood bridges. There's no delay. There are no politics or forms to fill out. Since there's no forms to fill out, there are no language barriers. which is a key obstacle for school districts. There's no overhead, there's no inventory, we just serve. We post a need and we fill it. We post a need and we fill it. Wash, rinse, repeat. And we drive impact to as many students as we can. All of this is done on the call of licensed and trained certified staff within those schools. They are there for a reason. They've been trained, and for generations, school counselors and social workers have been trying to solve this problem. So all we're doing is giving them a tool so that we can take what they're working on behalf of kids out to the entire community and fulfill those. Is anybody a subscriber to Neighborhood Bridges Worthington or Dublin? Okay, so if you subscribe, and I hope you all do that, you'll just get an email notification when a new need is posted in either Worthington or Dublin, and you can click on that and say, I'd like to help, and then you are immediately directed to take your donation to, and I'm standing here, don't remember what the donation centers here are in Worthington, and then you take that item there, or you donate financially, and 100% of what's donated stays in each community. We've supported that for 7 years, and all goes to support children within, students within that school community. So it is working. I've never done this before. I did this just for you today. I actually combined the community, since you're a combined community Rotary Club. We track our data very closely. So here's Dublin and Worthington. Dublin was the 3rd community that we added to Neighborhood Bridges. Worthington, I think, was 4th. So they're both about 6 years old. Dublin just turned 6 years old, Neighborhood Bridges, Worthington's about to. But between them, we have 8,337 subscribers or followers. That's a big number. Together, we have, in these 2 communities, they have filled 1,322 needs. Look at this. 6 years. $1,230,261. That's just in these 2 communities. And the impact, 43,997 students over 6 years in Dublin and in Worthington. So how do we know this? When an advocate, a counselor in Worthington or Dublin posts a need, we don't ask them ever to tell us who we're serving, but they have to tell us how many students or family members of that student are going to be impacted when the donor fills that need. And so they can't post a need without that data. That helps us track it, so that we track that by community, and then it bubbles up to the what I call the umbrella or the larger bridge. And so that's a lot of beating hearts
Are they
in both
duplicated?
communities.
Are they duplicated? Can they
Yes.
get, okay.
Yeah, so the question was, are they duplicated? Yes, they are, because we are likely serving that student several times over during the school year. What I like to say is that because of the great work of our advocates, our school counselors and social workers, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. So as we get to know that student a little bit more, as we get them to feel comfortable and come forward, we can serve them more holistically, right? So, so that's why that number is so big. Yes.
The giving is in dollars. There's also lots of donations of furniture, et cetera. Is that?
Yes, sir. So all of that is factored in here. So what we do, remember I told you that I was the chief operating officer of the Ohio State Bar Association. So this is applying some of my life experience. So what we do at the umbrella level, we track this for all of our communities. We record donations. We use the Salvation Army donation track, which is published nationally each year. And we assign value to everything that's been donated by community, by need. And that's how I'm able to give you this. So here's what it looks like. I told you it was working. Community members tend to like it. Here's our giving, the growth of giving since we started at Neighborhood Bridges. Over the first 7 years. And here's our administrative overhead costs. And you can see it's actually gone down as we've scaled, because we found a scalable model. We work through volunteers. Ray Lees is your volunteer area director here in Worthington. Ray's got 8 adopted kids. It's an old thing, you know, you want something done, you give it to a busy person. And Jill Cranstuber and Sarah Savage, who Alan knows very well. By the way, Alan, thank you for being here. Alan Grossman, I've known Alan for years now because he's very active on the steering committee for Neighborhood Bridges Dublin and very supportive. And thank you for all of your support for all these years. But anyway, that allows us to make sure that donations in every community stay in that community. And here's what it looks like. Last year, we drove impact together with all of our communities to 101,000 kids last year, 2023. 22,000 of them received clothing assistance, 3,500 of them got some sort of furniture, 42,000 of them received personal care items. This is what kids are asking for: soap, shampoo, deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, feminine hygiene products, undergarments. Most requested thing we have, all of our communities. This is the same. To your question, very good question. A lot of kids will come forward for this, and then the counselors and social workers can further evaluate them to see what other boxes we can check for them. 9,000 received backpacks or school supplies, 6,000 received food assistance, 7,200 received some sort of financial assistance, a school fee, a test fee, utility assistance, rent assistance, something like that. We will serve the family if it serves the student. If it'll keep the student coming to school, we will do that. 8,600 received gift cards or grocery cards or gas cards. A lot of that are homeless students in here, in this range, that get gift cards so that they can contribute. The definition of homeless, what we're talking about is not somebody who's sleeping outside. We're talking about youth that have been displaced from their home. They've had to escape a violent situation, no longer accepted in their family, maybe a bad foster care situation, and they're sofa surfing. They're sleeping somewhere else on somebody's couch. And so we've been advised by the experts that the best way to keep them there is to allow them to contribute to the overall expenses for the family. You know, pitch in on groceries or gas or stuff like that. 100 kids last year received an eye exam. I always record that because that was the very first post we ever filled in Westerville on Martin Luther King Day 7 years ago. And we actually had 8 vehicles donated. And we take those and give those directly to, it's usually a single mom with a family or a single dad, and they don't have transportation. These are our best days because that means mom or dad that they're able to get to work now and provide income for their family. So we've already donated 2 cars this year, already this year. Here's where you come in. Take out your phones and scan those QR codes if you want to subscribe to Dublin or Worthington. It costs nothing to subscribe. You just get on the email list. We don't share your email with anyone. We protect you. But then you'll be notified or join both, scan both of those. And then you'll just get a note when someone in the school district posts a need on behalf of a student in need. And if you're so inclined, you can help. And Ray Lees was telling me that this club has oftentimes stepped in and filled a need in here in Worthington. Ray couldn't be here today because he's working for the school district now. And anyway, that's what you can do. So that's all I have. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything? Is there any way we can bring that back up, just like put the QR codes back up there?
Sure.
What would you like to know?
Are you aware that Worthington Kilbourne's high school has, since the school opened up, had a fundraiser? The kids do it all on their own. Raise the money, buy the gifts, wrap the gifts, and we as Rotarians deliver them. We're the Santa Clauses. They've done that since Kilbourne School opened up. So I'm guessing they've given over $250,000 in the past 25 years to that.
That's amazing. I was not aware. I'm sure Ray is involved with that, and knows about it. I know in Washington we do the same thing. Neighborhood Bridges, we've got a program called Caring and Sharing. And so they serve the at-risk students by donating Christmas gifts. Neighborhood Bridges, what we do is we come in, the because they have an application deadline that misses families, who can't apply by the deadline. So we come in at the very end and serve the families who, miss the application deadline for caring and sharing. So truly bridging, together to make sure everyone's served. We would love, Alan, you just give me 1 second. I would love it if some of you would like to volunteer to serve on our steering committee here in Dublin. Alan does a great job, here in Worthington. Alan does a great job in Dublin. We would love 1 or 2 or 3 of you to join our steering committee in Worthington. Steering committees, Alan will tell you, about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, 3 times a year. That's all. We just meet 3 times a year. But we want key stakeholders at the table for stuff like you just shared, to make sure that we are serving the process and we are supporting one another. I know in Worthington, our Neighborhood Bridges team all the time works hand in glove with the Dublin Food Pantry and One Dublin. And so I think you had something you wanted to say or a question?
You just said Worthington, you meant to say Dublin, but what I did want to say was, yes, I have been on the steering committee since 2017, I don't think you gave Dublin enough time. And our foundation does actually a number of cases a year, with the resource, with Dublin Bridges. And so I think those QR codes are gonna give you an ability to donate. If you just do a Google search for Dublin Bridges or Worthington Bridges, you'll come up with the first thing that pops up is put your email address in, and you're not gonna get 75 emails a day. It's one every few days, and it usually shows up with some needs that need to be met. That's a lot of times where I find the needs to bring to our foundation. So you might see, there was one this week about somebody that needed a ride somewhere. You might see somebody looking for a washer or a dryer. You might see a mom needs a gift card for groceries or whatever the case may be. So, and then you can just click on that need and you can subscribe, you can say, hey, I'm willing to help with that. And then they'll either say, every time I do it, almost when the little needs show up, it's almost always filled before I even see it. But that's a great way for you guys to get involved, and if you happen to see something that looks like it'd be great for our foundation, you're always welcome to send me a note or call me and say, hey, I think there's something there that I may or may not have already seen. But just Google Dublin Bridges, Google Worthington Bridges, and sign up to be on that email list. It's really painless.
I'm sorry if I put the wrong QR code. See, I suffer from a severe lack of talent. You can ask my wife. I got this wrong. I'm so sorry. Thank you. That is totally on me. Jeremy is all about my trials and tribulations, I think.
I mean, he'll probably take the donation. Don't get it
Yeah.
wrong.
No, this is probably despite my lack of abilities, because it was a bet on humanity. I was pretty sure that people would respond to this, and they have. We have now in 7 years directly impacted over 431 students. And so, does anybody know what a BHAG is?
Yes,
What is it? What's BHAG?
the big, hairy, audacious goal.
That's a winner. Big, hairy, audacious goal. Joe, Denny, Ramey, and I used to have these at the Bar Association every year. We would determine a big, hairy, audacious goal of the board. Mine is to directly touch 1 million kids. And then I want to do it again, and then we'll do it again. We'll just keep serving.
We hope there aren't 1 million that need.
That's right. We hope that there's not, but I want it, that's why I shared those lines with you. This trend is working against us here. And there are a variety of reasons why there's growing poverty in suburbs. It's about urban sprawl, right? But there's a variety of reasons that none of us can, I'm not adept to address, but what I want to do is provide hope and value and love and opportunity to kids. Anything else I can answer if you have any questions? Yes.
What happens if something gets posted and nobody responds to it? Or maybe that never happens?
It does happen. It's very rare. In Dublin, I think the only thing that's never been filled is occasionally a car. It's, but, cause those are tough, that's a big one. But all of our communities over the years, we continue to apply for grant money for our communities. That money stays in wherever we're applying for that grant money. And, so they'll rely on those reserves, to fill it. And I think Worthington has filled 100% of their needs since they started.
Is there a bridge in Delaware?
We are serving, Neighborhood Bridges is serving Olentangy schools and Big Walnut. So we've had a lot of support lately from the Women in Giving in Delaware County. They love our model. A couple of former school board members in Olentangy, and Julie Fowdy, Julie Beazle, excuse me. Julie Fowdy is a soccer player. Anyway, anything else that, it sure is nice to be with you. Would one or two of you or three of you come forward and please volunteer to be on our steering committee in Worthington? All that means is we're gonna advise you how we're doing. We're gonna give you that data. And I sure would like for your participation because I just wanna make sure that we are serving holistically and that we are engaging with wherever good deeds are happening, so that we can join together and not, ever replicate our efforts. Thank you.
I have no idea. Thank you very much, Rick. And, now we have a raffle. Bonnie, filling in for Rob.
We didn't have it on our calendar.
Rose, very busy.
Come on, Jamie, just pull mine out. Yes.
This is for $27, and the last four digits are 3966.
$27.
Joe.
Last time.
Didn't know your hour was so low.
This is for $102 for the eighth thing.
Hey, Don, so big is fine.
Last four digits are 6124. Somebody's got it.
6124.
Right in.
Yeah.
Oh, 6126.
I in 6 months be in there twice.
You can do a better job. 6145.
You could throw 50 up on you.
Jim Miller, or Jim Miller. How many times?
I do not know.
It's a lot, Jim. Oh, Jack of Clubs, okay, thanks for playing. All righty, now our four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do first. Second. Third. And fourth. We're adjourned, thank you.
I did ask her. Well, thank you.
Hey, Steve. Okay.
No, no, not the flag. 60. Yep. I'm gonna put all that in that little box over there. Yeah, there's a small plastic bag. And they might put in there somewhere.
We can probably use it. And we've got to contain. Okay, so. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Executive director. Executive director. I meant to tell you, but I couldn't get to you.
I thought she was in the language she said last time, but it's nice to have her.
Yes.
Yeah, the other. Our good buddy didn't survive COVID.
Oh,
And he didn't survive COVID with the union and everything else.
there's a lot going on.
And that was too bad.